I'm starting a new series about hockey because obviously I play. This is my first episode, so I'm just gonna wing it, and it's gonna be cap outlooks for every single or all 31 of the NHL teams now. I'm gonna go over the draft positions, how many draft picks they have, what their future is like, what their cap outlook looks like, and yeah, and also their prospects and what the future as a whole. So today I'm gonna be doing the defending Stanley Cup champions and the other Stanley Cup finalists, Nashville Predators, and we're gonna start with the Penguins. So as you know, the Penguins won the cup last year. It didn't seem like too long ago where the team looked like they were on fast track to rebuild around Sidney Crosby and Getty Malkin because Mike Johnston basically ran the team to the ground. And then when Mike Sullivan took over, he started bringing in all the AHL, and Pittsburgh has one of the better AHL farm systems in the league. And they produce guys like Tom Kuhnhackl, Brian Rust, Jake Gensel, Connor Sheary, Carter Rowney, and on defense, Brian Dumoulin and Chad Ruhwedel, and of course Matt Murray. So looking at the Penguins cap outlook, we're gonna first go to their draft picks. Next year, they have their first, second, third, fifth, sixth, and seventh. I'm not sure entirely what their fourth was used on. Might have been involved in one of the packages to get someone in passer compensation. I'm not sure. In 2019, as you can see, they have all their draft picks, and in 2020, they lost their second rounder as a clause so that Vegas can select Marc-Andre Fleury, so they don't lose anyone important like Carl Hagelin or Brian Rust. So as you can see on the lineup, we have Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Phil Kessel, Patrick Hornquist, all of them. As you can see, Phil Kessel, Sidney Crosby, and Evgeny Malkin are all paid until at least 2023, until they become unrestricted free agents. And by that time, Malkin will be 36 or 37 years old, and I wouldn't imagine them re-signing him at that point. Same with Phil. I can honestly see them trading him before that for trading assets. Maybe next year, flip him out the draft if he doesn't have a good season to get maybe, someone like a Dahlin or a Wu. Patrick Hornquist becomes an unrestricted free agent next summer. With the way Pittsburgh's cap structured, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone next year. Carl Hagelin, same thing. He had, let me confirm this. He had a very bad, poor statistical year last year, and he got hurt a lot. He only had 22 points last year, and he's getting paid $4 million. I know he's very fast and all, but for those numbers, I feel like $4 million is a little much. Connor Sheary's $3 million a year for the next 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded either because when he's not playing with Crosby, he disappears, unfortunately, and he might be a trading asset until then. I'm not sure. Then we get to Ryan Reeves, who it was kind of an unnecessary move by Pittsburgh to get him at the draft. Wasn't a bad move. They didn't really give up that much. He becomes an unrestricted free agent next summer. They're not going to re-sign him. Then here is my big thing right here with Jake Gensel, because he comes a restricted free agent 2 summers from now. And the way he played last year, having 33 points in 40 games and having that fantastic playoff run as Pittsburgh went to the Cup, I just see him being paid if he scores like 60, 70 points next few seasons, like $6-7 million. And at that point, they're probably going to have to trade Phil Kessel. I imagine they're going to trade Kessel in that window because Gensel's probably going to want to take his salary. Next, you have Archibald, another young guy. Brian Rust, Tom Kuhnhackl, and Scott Wilson are all going to be restricted free agents next summer, and Carter Rowney is going to be an unrestricted free agent next summer. So I'm going to be interested to see how that pans out. I imagine all of them will say, because Kuhnhackl is more of a fourth-line guy, so is Scott Wilson. Although I understand that Rust and Wilson can probably slot up and down anywhere in the lineup. Carter Rowney is just a great fourth-line grinder. So I hope they can somehow keep all of them. It's going to be tough, though, with their cap. And then Chris Letang signed. Justin Schultz is signed. Dumoulin signed. Mott is signed. Then Hunwick, I see as a trading asset. I don't see why, with their cap space, they need to do that when they have ample prospects coming up from the minors. Then Chad Ruhwedel will be unrestricted free agent, and Ian Cole will be a unrestricted free agent next year, and I do not see them re-signing him. Now onto their goaltenders. Matt Murray is going to want like $10 million in 2021. So again, I see Pittsburgh trading a lot of these guys by then. I see their team being vastly different by at least 2020. Niemi, on the other hand, UFA next year, unless he has a great season. I doubt they'll re-sign him. And then we have all their prospects / AHL players down here, entry-level deals. Zach Aston-Reese, who's going to be probably great. Derek Pouliot, Philip Gustafsson, all these guys that I'll go into in detail after I explain Pittsburgh's needs, and what they should do with it. So Pittsburgh needs a third-line center right now, and I do believe that they will trade for one. And it seems like the only guys that are good on the market are like Matt Duchene, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and like a lot of guys that have high profiles that play with number 1 or 2 center in any other team. But on Pittsburgh, since you have Crosby and Malkin slotting down the middle, I don't see them having any spot, obviously. And Carter Rowney is definitely going to be their fourth-line center. He's always going to be a good fourth-line center. And if they can just fill with their wing depth that they have in the AHL, they'll have pretty decent depth next year. It's just injuries are always going to be an issue for Pittsburgh because Chris Letang is made out of glass. And, so I'd imagine they probably could use Shiri or Mahara as trade bait for teams to maybe entice. I know they're definitely not going to hold on to that first rounder next year. They haven't had a first round in a while. I wouldn't imagine them to have one. They're probably going to go all in at the deadline to get the three-peat. So next I'm going to go into that's really the only weakness Pittsburgh has right now, and they'll probably find a way to fill their offensive depth because they have a plethora of wingers. I imagine seeing Tom Kunak will scratched, and as you can see, their AAV and their actual salary. I'm not going to get into performance bonuses or anything. That is something that you guys can check out on catfriendly.com. I'll put the link in the description below. You can check out for yourselves. So next we're going to go into the prospects. So Pittsburgh, contrary to belief that Pittsburgh will have a terrible prospect pool because, they trade away all their picks for rentals like Jerome McGinley, people that weren't really necessary, but I guess they got him, and they never won a cup. So what they do have, though, is a lot of great prospects in college. I mean, Pittsburgh loves their college boys, man. They're U.S. college boys at all the colleges around the country. They love them. They never go for CHL guys. So I'm going to go first off NHL.com. Their 30-31 preview, I'll put that in the link in the description below. They just did. So they first got Daniel Sprong, who I obviously agree is probably one of the top 10 prospects in the league right now. At 6'1", 180, he scored 59 points in 31 games last year because he was restricted due to injury that he suffered when he was in the Black Aces with Pittsburgh. And he actually was selected 46th overall in the 2015 entry draft. I honestly couldn't believe he fell that far. And, if he plays with Crosby, I can see him scoring 30, 40 goals in a few seasons. Then next they have Zach Aston-Reese, who they acquired as an undrafted free agent on March 14th. He was one of the Hobey Baker finalists. He had 63 points in 38 games played this year in college. Excuse me. People compare him to one of their own players named Patrick Hornqvist because, obviously, he's a crease guy, just stands in front of the goalie and makes a career out of that. Then next 2 out of 3 prospects are goaltenders, which is going to be very interesting to see. So they have Philip Gustafsson and Tristan Jarry. Jarry and Gustafsson were both second-round picks, and both seemingly are very close to being NHL ready, especially Tristan Jarry. The only problem is Matt Murray's only 23 years old, and he seems to be the future of the franchise right now, goaltender-wise. So I see one of the two being traded in the near future for prospects. I mean, not prospects, for a player that could really help out Pittsburgh. And next we have finally Zach Lauzon, who they acquired via the number one the 51st overall pick this year in the entry draft. He's more of a defensive type of defenseman. He's not really offensive. He's left-handed. He's 18 years old, and he could really be comparable to a guy like Brian Dumoulin or I can't think of another decent defensive defenseman in my mind right now. But or like Brent or like sorry Vlasic. Yeah, he said he models his game after Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and yeah, hopefully he can make an impact in the next few years. And now we're gonna flip back over to Cap Friendly. We first have Adam Johnson, who actually was a Hobie Baker finalist this year, and I'm not too familiar with the guy. Hey, let me look up right here. Because I haven't heard that much about him until I saw him in Hobie Baker. So last year he had 37 points in 42 games with the University of Minnesota Duluth in the NCAA. And I imagine he's going to play for Wilkes-Barre next year. I don't believe, was he drafted? Yeah, he was an undrafted forward that they got out of college. And then they have Aston Reese, obviously. Derek Pouliot. So, I'm not sure most of you know this, probably do, but they got Derek Pouliot with the 8th overall pick in 2012. So you'd imagine him to be, like making a big impact by now. And he has just been, it's sad to see because he had so much promise in junior, scoring like 60, 70 points with the Portland Winterhawks in the WHL. And he just got into so many issues, off-ice issues, like just stuff that just sets people back and puts a bad name in the organization. They signed him to a 1-year deal this year, so this is his last chance, or I imagine he'd be traded. So I really hope he can turn out, because he really has some great upside. I don't know what the issue is. Gus Gustafsson, Tom Stapoli, I don't know much about him. He's an undrafted free agent that they got. I think he's from Italy or something, and he's a center. He'll play another year in Barry. Sorry, I'm drinking soda while I'm doing this. I probably shouldn't have been doing that, but but we keep going down the list. Freddie Tiffels, they actually have him as a comparable to Carl Hagelin, which is not bad. Maybe if he turns out trade Hagelin, because if you're gonna get the same guy and he's only making $742,000 compared to $4 million, if they can produce the same way, might as well. Jeff Taylor, lefty. I heard he is a defensive defenseman, I think. I'm not sure. Let me look. I'm pretty sure he's playing in the OHL with the Kitchener Rangers. I think that's him. NHL. My bad. He's a 7th overall pick in the 2014 entry draft. In this year at Union College, he had 33 points in 38 games. That's a great seventh round pick by Pittsburgh right there. He'll be playing Wilkes-Barre next year because they signed him to a entry level contract. Then going down the list, we have Ethan Prowl, another great defenseman with some good upside. Teddy Bluger, who's unfortunately one of the franchise's top center prospects. Sean McGuire, who's another goalie. They have tons of goalies in Pittsburgh. Lucas Benchton, who I really feel sorry for. I've seen this kid play. He can absolutely flat out play. He's so fast. It just he got this pot. I think he got some kind of form of Lyme disease that put him out all of last year. It's really unfortunate. He has some great upside. Hopefully he can get over that and somehow get back on the ice. Dominic Simone, center, great speed. I see him maybe cracking the lineup next year. Probably not, but we'll see. There's Sprong, goalie DeSmith, and these guys aren't really prospects. Corrado, I'm not sure. He might be good, might be not. It's going to be a toss-up. And I think finally we have John Sebastian D. Okay, so this guy in juniors absolutely tore it up in the QMJHL. I think he had like 160 points in the last 2 seasons he played. When Pittsburgh signed as an undrafted free agent, a lot of people saw him being like really good for the organization one day. But he just hasn't had his chance to play yet. Honestly, I see him maybe cracking lineup as the fourth line center. Might push Rowney down. We'll see, but yeah, they signed a 1 year deal just recently as a restricted free agent, and yeah, that's that. And so what Pittsburgh has for the future? So the next few years, they're obviously going to be competing for cups, right? And after that, I'm really not sure what's going to happen with Pittsburgh when Crosby Malkin retires. I see that 2022, 2023, 2024 area being potentially their rebuild stage. Unless, because by then Chris Letang will be retired, Justin Schultz will be gone, Dumoulin will still be there, Mata will still be there. They'll all be pretty young. Cole, all these guys will be gone. The only ones I could see being there are Wilson, Kuhnhackl, Rust, Archibald, Gensel, Sheary maybe, and maybe still Sidney Crosby. I see Malkin retiring soon. He might be gone by then. And maybe we'll see Daniel Sprong and Zach Aston Reese. So in the future, I can see maybe Aston Reese slotting behind Gensel as 1 and 2 line center, since he seems like a center. Maybe Adam Johnson's third line center, or any of these guys can be possibly part of the core. But I just see the team not being very good, possibly because they don't have any superstars. But I see good coaching, Mike Sullivan. Hopefully, he's still there. And yeah, I think those are the years that they probably have to, scrap for a rebuild. And Matt Murray will still be in net. They still have a chance if he can play good every night and the defense holds up. So that's it for Pittsburgh on this one. I'm probably not going to get to Nashville today since it's taken up a lot more time than I thought it would. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time with Nashville.